My name is Destinee Rea.
And I'm Tia DeShazor, and we are the founders of Bold. Thank you for tuning in to Bold 2020. We believe that Black women will change the world.
And tonight, you are going to see two new works written by bold women who write with urgency in response and in light of the systemic silencing of Black women's voices.
We invite you to flood the chat with your applause and love and enjoy the show. Welcome to Bold 2020.
Hello, my name is Agyeiwaa Asante, and I am the playwright and writer of Dainty.
Excerpts from Dainty, a satirical choreo poem, non-linear play or something, by Agyeiwaa Asante. Dainty can be defined as something choice or pleasing, showing avoidance of anything rough, pleasing to the taste and often temptingly served or delicate, delicious, frail in constitution or health, small and attractive in a delicate way.
And I hope she'll be a fool. That's the best thing a girl can be in this world. A beautiful little fool.
Consummation. Lights up. A bright, open field. Brides 2, 3, and 4 enter dressed in pristine white wedding dresses from the shadows. The brides are like children, playing, laughing, and skipping in the fields. This is their Eden. They have nothing else. They have been nowhere else. Suddenly, a bride, one, comes running from over the hill.
Sisters, sisters! I was frolicking in the garden. It was as far west as I had ever gone. I spotted a tree all alone, towards the edge where the ground meets the sky and the sky wins. This tree bore a fruit I had never seen before. It was so strange, I had to taste. Just as I plucked the lowest hanging fruit, about to bring it to my lips, he appeared. I dropped it, startled. It was as if he had come out of thin air.
What did he do? Say!
Was he on a horse?
And then we just stared. It was the longest moment of my life. I didn't know what to say. Then he spoke.
What did he look like? What did he sound like?
Was there or was there not a horse?
He spoke to me about me. He said he'd never seen a creature so beautiful, so perfectly made for him in all his days. My grace, my charm, my wit.
But you hadn't said anything yet.
So, no horse.
And then he said, he said the most wonderful thing, my sisters, the most glorious thing I had ever heard in all my days. He said he wanted to eat me.
Eat you? You mean like eat you out?
No. I'm quite sure he said he wanted to eat me, consume me, that he never met anyone so delightfully delicate, so delicious, that he just wanted to have me.
Overwhelm me.
Take me.
Take me. Take me.
Wait, he said he wanted to take you, but you're right here.
He ate me, whole and completely, nothing left. You're looking simply at a shadow of my former self.
I'm confused. Your shadow or his? A dream come true.
Does this mean you're leaving us?
I don't belong to you all anymore. I don't belong to myself. He'll be coming for the rest of me soon. That's what he said before he rode away.
I knew there was a fucking horse!
I'll be back for what's left of you. Wait and see. Soon.
Strong Black woman boot camp. We hear the sound of a sergeant's whistle. The brides march in. Behind them enters Sergeant Bride.
Attention, you low-life, no-support, bra-wearing maggots. It's time to get you bitches in shape. Squat jumps.
Yes, Sergeant!
That's it, ladies. Now, who are we?
Superwomen!
What do we do?
Support the Black family and Black identity at all costs!
We are the problem, but also the solution.
We must be a gift to the Black man, not the curse.
And how do we do that?
By consistently sacrificing our needs.
But also being fully equipped and to be a sound mind to support everyone else.
Or
Or
what if I just like want to be Supergirl, you know? Or like Lois Lane, you know, keep it kind of low key, just be average? Like just living?
Average? You hear that? She wants to be average, normal, just like everybody else, huh?
unremarkable sergeant.
Or just like a housewife? I could be somebody's little housewife or something.
You hear that? She wants to be someone's motherfucking housewife.
I could work, pursue a career, consider not having a man, not having kids, just doing me. Is that so crazy?
Who told you to be born with your black ass and answer to feminine pronouns? That's on you. Let me tell you something, Private. You've seen a superhero movie, right? And all those people they be saving in those big cities, well, sometimes there's collateral damage. You won't see them on the screen all the time, but if a big monster comes bounding through and starts knocking down buildings and flipping over cars, there's gonna be a body count, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
So you have two roles in this feature film called Life. You're either gonna live to make it to the sequel as a Superwoman, or be an unseen, irrelevant extra, her elbow poking out of the rubble for a whole 0.2 seconds. That's just doing you. What'll it be?
Bride 4 gets back in line.
That's what I thought. Now give me my jumping jacks. Dicks in, babies out. Dicks in, babies out. What?
With the right contouring, lighting, weave, and football player, I'm basically a Kardashian, so can I just go home?
You may leave. Everyone else, I want a lap for every $100 of child support you're not getting. Move! Move!
Consummation Part 2. We've returned to paradise. The brides are at play. Bride 1, however, sits away from them all. She has become too grown for childish games. She poses sexily, or her idea of it, on a hill, waiting. Not far away, we see Bride 2 moping by some daisies. Bride 3 notices.
Now, why such a long face on such a beautiful day?
Big sister. Ever since she got her groom, she doesn't want to play with me anymore. Don't let her go.
Aw, don't be sad. Come here. This is simply the way for every bride. It was the way for my sisters before me, and yours one day too. You know the journey of the bride.
Tell it to me again, please.
All right. Once upon an ancient structure called time, there was evil, and it was not built for creatures like us to survive. So, Agyeiwaa, in her infinite wisdom, created paradise for her daughters, a safe place for us to grow and thrive and preserve our innocence. Here, we remain untouched by the evil, and when she's particularly filled with joy at the sight of her daughters, she opens up and gives birth to another.
Like me?
Just like you. But Agyeiwaa never makes one creature the same way twice. Every flower, every fruit, every sister, each special in their own way. But we were not born to remain in paradise forever. And so to keep paradise safe, for every sister that enters, one must go. We are to learn from each other, to grow from startled buds to full bloom, and then we are plucked.
Plucked?
By a groom.
And then?
And then we cross.
To where?
To there, where the grooms come from, where the land meets the sky. Somewhere away from paradise, but safe from evil, never to return.
But that's so sad.
But it does not have to be. Just because something is different doesn't make it bad or scary. Just like the way Agyeiwaa made us all.
Consume. You can't eat beauty. Lupita Nyong'o. Bride 4 sets a table for one. She's had herself a long day, made herself a nice meal, and is ready to binge watch That's So Raven on her stolen Disney Plus account. Life is good. Bride 1 enters, making herself and her disapproval known.
Can I help you?
What? Oh, no. Just a long day. Feeling a little faint.
You should get yourself something to eat.
That is your solution for everything, isn't it? Look, I'm just concerned about you. I care about you.
You know, you never actually asked me how I am.
I don't have to, sweetie. I can see you. You know, all of you.
And I can see you too. See you huffing and buffing, going up a flight of stairs, chain smoking like you in an episode of Mad Men. Shouldn't you be worried about you?
Girl, the metabolism.
What happens when it slows down? Or you get an overactive thyroid, or you have some kids, or just gain some damn weight.
Why would you even say that to me?
What makes you think you get to say anything to me?
It takes a village, sweetie. I'm just doing my part and showing how much I care.
Oh, you want my love languages?
It's called tough love, my love. You're not always going to get it the way you like it. It's just the facts.
How are you going to tell me how I need to be loved?
Because I know how this world works. I know what it takes to survive. And survival requires sacrifice. This is not going to fill you.
You know what? You are absolutely right. I don't know what I would do without you.
Oh, stop.
You seem a little hungry. Let me fix you a little something.
Oh,
Don't worry. I found a recipe where they take Beyonce's homecoming prep diet, but modify it as if she were literally the size of a baby bird.
That sounds perfect. Get yourself a little something too. Emphasis on little.
Bride 4 exits.
So glad you came around. Things are going to be much more peaceful now.
She returns with a glittering, covered serving tray. Bride 1 applauds with glee. With a dramatic flourish, Bride 4 unveils a dazzling, sparkling makeup mirror.
Excuse me, what is this?
Your buffet. You know, because I care so much. I thought about it, and I realized the best thing I could do for you was to serve you what you love most. I hope it fills you. Bon appetit!
Bride 4 exits, plate and wine in hand. She sums the That's So Raven theme song as she exits. Sensual, not sexual. Bride 2 sits in her bedroom dressed in a modern Japanese schoolgirl outfit. She studies sexily in front of a webcam. Her audience provides suggestions.
Put your hair down. It's sexy when it's in your face like that.
No, put it up. It makes you look younger. I want to see your face.
Lick your lips. Oh, no, not like that. Do it like we're not even here.
I can't see. Move closer to the camera.
Push out your breasts.
Oh, but don't be a whore about it. Why is this so hard?
We're not asking for much.
Be sexy, not slutty.
Be innocent, not childish.
I want to fuck you so hard you die in my arms, but the intensity of my love brings you back to life.
What the fuck does that even mean? What's wrong with you?
No talking.
No talking!
No talking!
Slave play. Quiet. Lights up on a bride alone. We hear the sound of running water as she slowly washes her hands in a sink.
You know, I'm starting to get real sick of this shit. I really am. They got me doing the cooking, the cleaning, the picking. Now I gotta concern myself with this too? Wouldn't have to if Sally June wasn't so damn fertile. She just kept getting pregnant, making Massa's little mulatto children's. Soon as they sell one off, he'd take her into that back room of his, and before you know it, her belly full with the next. No wonder Madam made Massa sell her off 7 months pregnant with baby number 6. So of course now, they need someone to replace Sally June to satisfy his urges. So I'm in the kitchen, cleaning the cock for dinner, minding my own business, when Mistress points at me. Massa and I just look each other up and down like, I guess. So that night, I follow him up to that back room of his I ain't never seen before. I walk in real slow. It's so dark. He slams the door and locks it behind me. And I start praying then and there. Then he lights the candle. You won't believe this place. Chains and whips and things hanging on the walls, straps tied to the bedpost. I'm about ready to scream for my Lord and Savior when he goes and hands me the key. He gets down on his knees, puts a collar around his own neck, and hands me a leash. Says I'm in control here. Now I knew I was in hell. You don't make it this long without knowing a trick when you see one. Turns out, this is what he was into. Kinky shit. Says he likes to be dominated. I gotta spend my daytime with him whipping me. Then I gotta find the energy in my evenings to whip him. Call him Massa in the day while he calls me mistress in the night. Can you imagine all the power he got, and all the while he begging for someone to have power over him? Shit. All he ever had to do was ask. Meet us out in the field. Give him exactly what he's looking for. Tenfold if he wanted. Make everybody's dreams come true. So one night, I decide I'm going to show him what it really means to not have power. I tied him to that bedpost real good, set that gag in tight, picked out the longest, tightest whip, even wet it a little the way he showed us, slipped my favorite kitchen knife out from under my dress, and ain't no word safe enough for him now. Let's see how much fun it is to be truly powerless. See if it's just as sexy, just as fun, if it still turn him on. I have to give it to him, though. You know that expression, like a chicken with his head cut off? Just see it running because it ain't know it's dead yet? Well, let me tell you, a man's Mr. Happy ain't much different. It's one of the last places the blood stops flowing.
End of excerpt. End of play.
TJ, what the hell is going on? Oh, I can't come to the crib no more. You ain't had me over in 3 months.
down.
Calm down.
I got a lot going on.
Okay, well, let me in right now.
You know I can't do that.
See? All these games,
Oh,
TJ.
what you mean? It's a virus going around. Baby, I'm just practicing social distance like the people say.
Social distancing, huh? Well, let me smell your candles.
Now why I gotta be all that?
Let me smell your candles, TJ. I ain't seen you in 3 months, TJ. I don't have no clean drawers, TJ.
Listen. I'm gonna let you over as soon as I can. And when you come, I'm gonna have a burgundy for you, rings, slouch socks, that toenail clipper you've been eyeing.
Toenail set?
And I got your favorite kettle corn.
The one with the nuts?
Hell yeah, the one with the nuts.
And I'ma smell your candles.
Yes, when it's all over, you can smell my candles.
Okay, TJ. I believe you.
Yeah, boo, I'm gonna be here. See you in 3-4 weeks tops.
Okay, bye, baby. Bye. Bye, TJ. Bye.
Dang, dude. That's like the 26th girl today.
I know. This candle game's strong.
My name is Brittani Samuel, and this is In My Arms or Under My Foot.
A modest but well-manicured suburban home. Junior storms in, visibly upset. He is followed by his mother, Naz, who carries a purse, gym coat, groceries, briefcase, all of the baggage she needs to carry her life.
Straight to your room, Jay, and don't even think about slamming that. You out of your damn mind.
There is a knock at the front door. Enter Dre.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
What are all these bags for? Girl, you going somewhere?
Yeah, prison after I kill your son.
Is that bad?
Dre, what are we gonna do with him?
In terms of what exactly?
All this money we're spending for one. This new school is not cheap, and he's already started cutting class. Now, when he is going to class, he's talking back to adults, and I just feel like if
I'm not convinced Sasha could be considered a real adult.
She's his teacher.
I warned you about sending him to that Jesus school. The boy wasn't raised that way. It's too late to force it on him.
Too late for him to get a better education? It's the best school in this neighborhood.
The only school in this neighborhood. You made sure of that.
You know what? Nuh-uh. You and your raggedy ass son are not teaming up on me today.
Well, what's special about today?
I got some good news this morning, and I promised myself that even you two wouldn't ruin it.
But Junior isn't the only reason the school called. Woman, is Junior the only reason the school called? You got the job?
Maybe. Yes, I got the job.
Congrats, baby. I knew you would. When you gonna marry me?
All this time I've known you, I didn't know librarians were your thing.
It's a recent development.
I bet.
I'm serious, Nas. We can do this.
It's been 15 years, Dre. Why you keep asking?
You never said no.
No.
Shut up. You don't mean that. Where's the boy at anyway?
He's in his room where he's gonna stay till I'm dead.
I'll go talk to him.
Thank you.
You know, some of this acting might just be Jay trying his hand at being a man. You know, it's harder to do that without one around.
Dre, I really just can't.
I'm just saying.
Well, stop. Stop saying that.
Dre exits into Junior's bedroom.
She made you come over just for this?
Hey, you too. And for the record, your mother doesn't make me do anything.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know what lies she be planting in your head when I'm not here, but I'm my own man. I don't just speak.
She's not gonna marry you.
Shut up. You know. I don't want you thinking it's a chore for me to come out here, Jay. Or even if your mother did move you out to the boonies.
She never lets me do anything. Even here, I'm never allowed to go out.
That's because last time you went out, you ended up making the stupidest decision of your life.
So I make one mistake and I'm punished for the rest of my life.
And once was more than enough to scare us. You know you got to be a little easier on her, right?
Why? Apparently she got the job of a lifetime, school librarian. Like she won't breathing down my neck enough already.
I'm serious, Jay. You know, this time of year is tricky.
I know.
You been checking on her at night like
At night, like you asked. Yeah. Don't worry. No screams.
Sleepwalking.
You'd be able to answer all these questions if she just let you stay with us.
Your mama doesn't want that just yet.
Then let me move in with you.
She's not ready for that either.
Well, how come she gets to make all the decisions?
Be patient, Jay. She's just trying to protect you.
I don't need to be protected from you.
Come here.
They embrace. Back outside the bedroom, Nas is rifling through the mail.
He's calmed down.
Thanks.
Anytime. You know I mean that, right? It doesn't just have to be for the bad stuff.
I know.
Think about what I asked you.
I always do.
I love you, Nas. I'm not going anywhere.
A few days later, inside of Sasha's, aka Miss Harris's, empty classroom.
Wait. Tell me again, what did he say?
Well, Miss Harris, Well, Miss Harris, I think you need to stop telling us that the Lord teaches us anything. His book got to tell us something, but it ain't really is. Shit, he don't even write it. Jesus ain't no better than Drake. Okay, it's not funny. I have an image to maintain in front of these kids.
Sorry, girl, I'm sorry. I didn't know he had it in him to do something like that.
Girl, you're telling me. What'd you do about it?
Had his father speak to
him. Really? Andre's staying with you now?
No, definitely. No. He's still in the city. He just comes over every once in a while to visit with his mother. And you know, help out with Jay. We'll handle it. He's just acting a little rebellious with the move and all.
I'm sure.
Here we go. It sounds like there's more underneath your sure. You don't think so?
Well, has he ever talked to you about why he's having such a hard time here?
No, but he's a 15-year-old boy, and they're not particularly an open bunch.
Oh, so you've asked them.
Why? For him to let me know how much I'm ruining his life? How evil I am for moving him to a nice neighborhood, which is closer to his family, mind you, and then tossing in food and clothes and a private education his way. No, I haven't asked him, and I'm not going to ask him.
I hear you. Okay. Look, having a kid is a bitch. That's why I set up my life in a way where they leave me alone at 3 o'clock.
And how's that working out for you?
This helps.
Now, even my heathen behind knows this isn't right.
Hey, Jesus and I are very close. That's how I know he don't mind.
I really am sorry for it.
Keep you sorry. I'm not having any use for it. I see how hard it is to raise these children, right? God just leaves you a life in your lap and tells you not to drop it. That's hard enough without you always being down on yourself. You're an incredible mother, Nas.
Doesn't feel like it.
That's how I know. Only the good ones have doubts. Look, talk to Junior tonight, ask him how he's really doing, and then let him answer for himself.
Later that night, Nas enters her home and walks into a romantic spread of candles, rose petals.
Jay?
Hey.
Where's Junior?
At my mother's for the night.
Well, get him back. We need to talk. What is all this?
I asked you to marry me.
And I told you no.
I'm asking again.
He embraces her. She goes along with it. They dance.
Doesn't have to be anything big. I know you'll hate that. Just you, me, and Jay.
You think there's a world where we could get married and not invite your mama?
If that's what you want. Please don't want that.
You're serious?
I don't plan on asking again.
She turns off the music.
I can't take care of you, Dre. I'm barely getting it right with Jay, and I just feel like
together like we have been.
You don't figure out marriage. It's a commitment, a lifetime commitment of a person's good and bad. And I won't stay for your bad. I won't waste time trying to fix it either.
Woman, you know me for damn near 2 decades. You see any bad around here?
I will leave you if you hurt me.
I won't hurt you.
And I won't take you back. I'm sure people deserve a second chance, but I'm not keen on giving them.
I don't need one. Marry me.
You should get that.
Oh, I should not.
It could be your mother. What if she needs help with something?
She raised 7 kids. Jesus calls on her for help.
Answer.
She'll understand that I'm in the middle of something. Answer. Hello? Hey, Ma. Yeah. Again? All right, no problem. No problem. I'll have someone, over there to look at it tomorrow. All right, I love you too.
Hi, Miss Thomas. It's Nas. I'm good, Mom. I'm good. No, I don't have Dre locked up anyway. He chose to come over. Mama, I just wanted to say, if the sink isn't working again, you can ask Jay to look at it. And I'm sure he hasn't even moved from your couch.
What? All right, thanks, Ma. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, love you.
She said Jay's not there. Didn't you say that he was staying at your mama's? So what, he just doesn't show up? That's not like him. He's not picking up his phone.
Just wanted a night, Nas.
Huh?
A night off of this. This town, and this house, and all this new stuff he hates. He wanted a night with his old friends. Smells he remembers. Streets with numbers instead of names on it. Just a little pause. He was planning on doing it anyway. I figured it was safer if I helped him out, and I figured you probably...
Stop it. Huh? You didn't think about me once. Where is he?
He's safe.
Damn it, Dre. If you don't tell me where that boy is, Dre.
He's safe. I always make sure of that. I meant what I said, Nas. I don't plan on asking again.
Nas blows out the candles and then checks her phone. Nothing. She sweeps away all the rose petals and then checks her phone. Nothing.
This is Nazila Ali. I got your letter and I'm coming.
A couple of days later in a hospital room.
There you are. You really are dying, aren't you? Can you even speak? Good. Let me. It's been 20 years. Has 20 years been enough time for you to really sit and think about what you did? The laughs, the birthdays, the love you stole from this earth? I'm nobody's sister anymore. 20 years ago, you made me a brotherless child. And for the longest time, do you know what actually bothered me about that? Your mediocrity. You don't even have a real cause to back your shit up. You're not Hitler or Rhodes or Pol fucking Pot. Your wickedness wasn't earned. It was just weakness trying to cover its own ass. I mean, I saw you. A grown man shaking in his own shit as my brother's body laid on the ground. You were scared. You. Even after 8 shots. People had the nerve to call you some kind of racist monster, but no. You were something much worse. You're a thief. You saw the whole world from right out under me. But guess what? I'm taking it back. This is my son, Jamie. Beautiful, right? We got in some trouble last year. Nothing newsworthy, nothing real serious. Just got caught up joyriding with a few friends. Whew, I was mad. When the cops brought him back to my doorstep, all cuffed and crying, he tripped a bit coming inside. And at once, I wanted to catch him before he fell and stump him down even further. Either way, I just needed him to be safe. Do you know what that feels like? To have a baby that is only safe when he's in your arms or under your foot. Huh? All I saw fit to do was yell at him. Try and scare away whatever boldness was left that might try to disobey me again. And it didn't work, of course. I mean, any Black boy that's had a bit of freedom is going to try and taste it again. I get that. But I realize now it's my job to make sure it's actual freedom he tastes. Because if my heart is going to continue to run around outside my body, it's not him I have to keep on a leash, is it? It's you. To answer your original question, I could never forgive you. I can't grant you salvation. You're going to have to ask someone else. Usually I'd say start with God, but I don't know. You might have to even go even higher. I'm going to leave now, but I don't want you to forget what I've said here today. I don't want you to forget to say my son's name. Say my fiance's name. Say my brother's name. Say my name. Make sure we're your last breath. Then maybe you'll be forgiven. But then again, maybe not.
End of play.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bold 2020 Talkback with the incredible playwrights whose work you just saw. I'll give you a second to applaud them one more time virtually. Yeah, we can feel it. I am Destinee Rea, one of the co-founders of Bold, where we believe that Black women will change the world, and you are seeing it live on your screen. I will let the playwrights and our director introduce themselves, and I'll start. I am Destinee Rea. I am the daughter of Wanda McGinnis, who is the daughter of Pauline Rebecca Maxwell, who is the daughter of Jesse. I'm from Texas, but I live in Harlem, where I make art intrinsically because I was created to. Agyeiwaa, do you want to tell us who you are?
Sure. Hi, my name is Agyeiwaa Asante. I am a DC, Maryland-based Ghanaian American playwright, sometimes performer, formerly performer. But yes, I love to write and create for the amazing Black people that I know.
Hello, I'm Brittani. It's hard to call myself a playwright, but I did write this play. I'm a dramatic writer and freelance writer, and I work in theater and marketing and production, and always trying to amplify Black voices whenever I can, through written word, through imagery, through theater, which is the medium we all work in. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Kristolyn Lloyd. You probably know me from more of my acting career. I decided to nurture and invest in my passion for directing and continuing to tell stories. So this was an opportunity to do that, and I'm really blessed to have gotten to work with Brittani and Agyeiwaa and Bold. This is a dope platform. I'm feeling it.
Yes. I mean, look at all of these beautiful melanated women. It's incredible. And there are over 40 women, Black women, who have made this festival possible, which is just incredible.
Power.
Jump in, Agyeiwaa. Talk to us about Dainty. You define the word, and then we step into these vignettes. Tell us about the conception of this piece, but also the secret is that there is so much more. So yeah, just tell us.
Sure. So I was very lucky that getting to do excerpts of this longer piece. I always struggle with writing longer pieces. I'm like a nice 10-minute one-act girl. That's my lane, but those don't get produced that often. So I'm learning to expand and to grow. So this has been my baby in formulating that. So I feel really lucky to get to share part of it with everyone here. So Dainty was actually, I was probably supposed to be writing something when I was on Facebook, because that's what I do. And it was like a page had shared something where it's like it was a picture of these beautiful Black women in white dresses, and the caption said, look, Black girls can be dainty too. And I remember I had read that, and I realized that was not the word that came to mind when I saw these women. I thought they were beautiful and regal, and I was still applying the word strong and elegant, but I did not see dainty, because it's never a word that I really hear applied to us very often. There's kind of like a fragileness and a weakness. So that really got me thinking about what are some things that I've internalized about who has access to this word, and why do I only apply it to a certain type of women, usually, a pale, fragile white woman, and who has access to it, and what are the benefits of it? What are the drawbacks of it? Why would we want it? And just from that thought process, all these vignettes and stories started coming to mind, and I just wanted to explore all these different ways and perspectives that we can look at that word and what it means on our bodies, and how the world does and does not apply that word to our bodies.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love you talk about the references to Ntozake Shange's for Colored Girls and George C. Wolfe's Colored Museum. And there is there is something beautiful in storytelling in that element of vignettes. And even though you're like, this is how I write, there's something about embracing that and accepting, this is how I write. Talk to us about that, because I bet there are a lot of Black women who don't fit into the box of what is going to be produced, and so they are stifled. How have you found freedom in just writing the way you write?
Yeah, it was very much, it was being in school, becoming a theater major and figuring out like, what is theater, what are plays? And it's always, we had the Aristotelian drama, like that's the format, that's how you write plays. So I always thought, oh, that's what you need to do, and that's what I need to learn how to do. And it's just, useful and has created so much great theater, but it's so restricting in this linear format. And then it wasn't until I got to know about, the Shanges and the George C. Wolfes and all these other creative minds that, oh, this can be so much more. Theater is allowed to be so much more. And even growing up, theater for me was, okay, musicals such as Annie and Shakespeare. So I didn't even know that it could be more, that there was more, that people were even still writing plays. It was like, for some reason, this was all new information to me. So getting this access, I realized, oh, I can do this. I'm getting to play with like this cyclical format is something that can be explored. And I'm like, oh, this is such a gift that you don't get unless you are exposed to it. So it wasn't until I got to play, read plays in a Black theater history class, or getting to watch more plays that were written by Black artists and other BIPOC artists. I'm like, oh, I am not restricted to this format, and just the stories that come so naturally to our history and to our cultures fit that so well. Like, especially like I love going back home, and there's nothing I love more than hearing a Ghanaian tell a story. It is the most beautiful thing to hear somebody, tell a story. The energy and the excitement and it's always a live performance, and seeing how we can actually bring that to what we do here and how it's being done. And we can have it. We should do it. And getting the opportunities to share that with the world is awesome.
I love that. You just freed somebody. So thank you for that. Brittani, In My Arms or Under My Foot is so powerful. And it speaks so much to the internal struggle that we often feel as Black women, processing all that is going on around us. Talk to us about your show, how it came to be, and also in particular, like Naz's character, this central female figure.
Sure. So thank you. And thank you for gathering us here together. The show, it's a truncated version of a longer piece that I've been kind of working on, but it's really just my meditation on what happens to the people surrounding our martyrs. And I don't want to call these fallen people martyrs. And this is also a piece I started writing before this year, and it deeply saddens me how many connections to the piece exist in the real world. Like, there's a point where it's referenced that the young boy who's slain was shot 8 times, Breonna Taylor was shot 8 times. And I'm like, just the way these things unfortunately measure up is a little scary. But I wanted to focus again on the people that surround these people that we then like put on our signs and we chant and we make hashtags, because at the end of the day, as revolutionary as this year has been, I would take every protest, every CEO who stepped down, I would take all of it back if Breonna Taylor could return to her family, if George could return to his daughter. And I just want to make sure we're caring for these people in a way that I don't think we get to care about the fallen as much, because they're not here with us. And yeah, to Naz in particular, she suffered the worst kind of pain, which is the loss of a loved one, in her case, the loss of a brother. And I don't have a brother, and I think that's why I'm able to write the piece, because I think if I did have a younger brother, I don't think I could really write about this. I have a younger sister, and even when I start to engage in that, it just, my mind is like, absolutely not, X out of it. And yeah, and I wonder how people who lose the men that they love the most then go on to raise Black sons in a world that they can say has not changed as much as they would have liked to see it. And at the same time, I think what's really important is kind of the revelation Naz has towards the end of the play, which is that she doesn't necessarily have to move forward always trying to coddle her son or hold on to her pain. It's like we have to use our voice to denounce the pain, to denounce the violence, that we're not the problem. White supremacy is a problem. The violence against us is the problem. And instead of us trying to shield ourselves, shield our family, which is natural to do, I do think there's a part of us that kind of needs to rise up and grab this thing by the horns, because we're not the problem.
We're not. I love in particular, a moment that sticks with me that I found so healing is when Naz is at the hospital bed and she says, "Say my fiance's name," because I experienced her healing and allowing herself to love Dre in that moment. It's such a powerful moment. But I know that there are women who are trying to learn how to artistically process the things around them, how to everything that's being internalized with the Black Lives Matter movement, or in being in a double pandemic, and how to express themselves using their art. What have been some ways that has opened you and allowed you the freedom to process in this way?
Well, I think for one, and I would say this is probably true of everyone here, I deeply love and am inspired by Black people. I want to see us genuinely, I am in love with what we can do. And I think for too long, it was hidden from me or clouded from me, our excellence. And now that I have a full grasp and I'm learning more, I want us to be represented and engaged with artistically in our full gamut of emotions. Like, you see Nas, and of course she's been traumatized, but you also see how she's acting when she's with her sister friend, who is probably the only other, Black woman, is this teacher in her town. And I do think that although we shouldn't always be engaging in trauma, I think trauma is an inherent part of life. And if we want to represent the fullness of who we are as Black women especially, we need to engage with every part of ourselves. I mean, I have not felt good every day of this year. I have felt a lot of sorrow, but I felt a lot of joy and laughter as well, and shame, and I'm learning about myself. And I just think it's natural of us to want to put all of that in our characters. And to AJ's point before, I mean, I think it's a real disservice that so often we only see linear narratives in theater. I mean, we're doing ourselves a disservice and the rest of the world a disservice to show what we can do, what Audrey and Kennedy can do, what Kia Kaufman can do. Like, why aren't those names taught middle school, high school? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a disservice to all of us.
Totally. I fully agree with you. Yes, I hope that from getting to sit with all of your pieces, that our audience will go read more Black women's work and familiarize themselves with it. Yes, because our voices are powerful. Kristolyn, so one of your pieces lives in realism, as Brittani said, too real in moments. And the other has elements of Brett and surrealism, breaking that fourth wall at moments. How did you maneuver through those differences to find the heart of these pieces?
Yeah, part of it was having full works in my hand was very helpful. Getting to see the fullness of, what the writer is trying to process. With AJ's piece, Dainty, I found as an actor, the nonlinear plays used to scare me, but it was because I wasn't exposed to them. In high school, I was doing Cole Porter, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. We did a Shakespeare where I played Hamlet, but I had never done anything like Susan Laurie Parks or Adrienne Kennedy. I had never been exposed to it. So I got to college, and the first exposure I had to it was from white writers. And so I'm learning about Jacobean and all these different art forms that are nonlinear. And when I got into my professional career, I found that I was continually drawn towards them. They didn't scare me the way that they used to. And I found a lot of freedom in performing in nonlinear plays. Directing them is different. Because I found as a director, what was important was figuring out, one, what is the arc from beginning to end for the full piece? What are the worlds that we're in? How many, what are the rules of these worlds? So it became very clear that with 10 minutes, I needed to give Dainty like a teaser. You know, what can we highlight in this 10 minutes that is not only relevant to right now, but also excites and scares people. So those were kind of the things that I was going through as we were making cuts, adding things in, taking things out, deciding how we wanted certain things to be read. Now with In My Arms or Under My Foot, approaching plays that we consider like straightforward, we can miss so many opportunities, I think, to use, the conventions of theater to elevate the story. The words are there. Brittany has poetry in her piece, if in the last monologue. And it was difficult making cuts to it because so much of it is coming out of the wellspring of a Black woman's heart. And so I, as a Black woman, was like, how do we lose all of this? It's so important. And, for me, it was about just getting straight to what are the voices we are highlighting in this piece? What are the voices we are protecting in this piece? And the Ta-Nehisi quote at the beginning, that informed so much for me about what this 10 minutes should entail. And it was very important that we saw the response to the aggression towards the Black body in different forms. So you have Naz, who's traumatized by it, and her life is being led through this window of female Black trauma. There's no control for her in certain aspects of her life, and that's terrifying. Dre, also, his response is different from Naz. They're total opposites on this day, on that particular day. So that was another thing that was important was, in this 10 minutes, why is this day so important to these characters? That was my approach. I think I answered your question.
You totally did. I'm very interested too in the collaboration. That is one thing that I think too, when we talk about decolonizing our spaces, we as Black folks, our community is the center of what we do, and collaboration is at the center of what we do. And so I think that in the world of Bold Productions, making space for collaboration is going to be so important. So I'm interested in hearing in the things that you discovered, Kristolyn, with Agyeiwaa, and the things you discovered with Brittany and vice versa. I'd love for our audience to hear how things moved, especially you mentioned just like, how do we say in the 10 minutes what this show is, and the voices, and whose voice are we spotlighting in this moment? So first, Kristolyn and AJ, I'd love for y'all to talk about the things you discovered in your collaboration.
Sure. For me, this was the first time I've gotten to able to hear Dainty out loud outside of my own head, and I find that is so important when you're a writer, to hear what it is from other voices, and especially getting to do it with a room of Black women. Because even just through the first reading that we did, I was like, oh, that's what that sounds, and let's fix that. Like this, how do people really talk? That alone made all the difference. But I definitely, what has always drawn me towards theater, because I started writing in poetry and in fiction, but what I've really drawn to theater is getting to do it with other people, because it can, the whole thing about it being a writer, being locked up in your own room is like cute for a while, but like it's maddening. And so getting to do it with an amazing person, so getting to work with Kristolyn and just being like, hey, this is what I have, let's make this together. And I'm so glad and so lucky to have gotten a collaborator who was like really active. Like she was like, hey, can I read the whole thing? I was like, yes, here's all of it, take it. And just having that fresh perspective was so helpful in forming what is the story we want to tell in these 10 minutes, and how to form that and really get that brand new perspective that I did not have, because this has been sitting in my own head for the past year. So it was just invaluable, and I really appreciate it. It makes me so excited for what Dainty can be in the future.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it was the fun began at casting, you know, when sitting down with Brittani and AJ and being like, okay, who are your dream people? Because here are mine. And it really informs you with who they see their character as, the tone of their piece. And it was exciting because we got our first, the people that we wanted. And from there, we were able to, like she said, you know, we hear the piece read and you're enjoying it so much. And then you look at the clock and you're like, it's 20 minutes. So then you have to like make some hard choices but in the midst of that, you're also finding really lovely moments for something in the future, you know? And so particularly with Dainty, what at first seemed intangible has slowly started to become more tangible in terms of, you know, AJ and I have already talked, and I'm like, well, the next workshop is really going to have music and, you know, and with Brittany's piece, it was really invaluable when we finally heard the actors read it. As you saw, they each are so incredibly talented, and their work is so nuanced in different ways. And seeing Nas and Dre come alive and their relationship start to show up in front of us was really helpful, because it kept me going, why this day? Why today? You know, how, like, what is special about today for these two people? Because those two people are like, we should be seeing ourselves in both of them. And you start to fall in love with your pieces more as the collaboration, you know, goes along. And it's gone so well. That's also awesome.
Yeah. The cast that was corralled for my piece was unbelievable. And I think to my downfall, I'm not always the kind of person that thinks about who would be reading it. I'm not thinking about production usually, which again, I should start doing that. But yeah, once you get people into those characters, there's no going back from that. You know, it changes everything. And I think Kristolyn, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that you're an actor as well, is so good at like womaning the room and just taking control, but doing so with empathy and just bringing things out of characters that I never even thought about, because these are living as, you know, just words, dialogue in my head, poetry in my head that I just write down. I often feel like it's just transferring through me. But then when I see it on a person, I'm like, oh no, I get why this person made that decision. I get what changed in this moment for Nas. Now I get why she says, you know, Dre is her fiance. I get why she says yes now, because of what Stacey did and because of what Stacey did with Kristolyn. Yeah, it's amazing.
I love that. I love that. This has been such a dream, and I'm so excited for the life of these pieces. I want to ask the question to both you, AJ, and to you, Brittani, where in a dream world, where do you see this piece living?
Oh gosh.
Dream big.
Look at me.
I'll take it first. Yeah. In a dream world, nobody would want to see this because it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be relevant. Like, why are you talking about violence against Black boys? Like, that's not what we do. That is the dream world. Mm. In this world that we're currently in, I mean, I think there's a lot to engage with this piece right now, not just because of like Black Lives and the Black Lives Matter movement, but just as we start to kind of re-enter society, re-engage with people, a lot of us are walking into it with new energy. And I really feel like, for me, the heart of the play is Nas's line, like, if my heart is going to keep running around outside my body, it's not him I have to keep on a leash, it's you. And I just want everyone to walk into this new moment, this new year, if you're going back to your job, whatever the case may be, with that energy of, we don't have to continue to at least I'll speak for myself, I don't have to continue to police myself in the way that I did, assuming that that's what would keep me and my family safest, because obviously it didn't work. And so I think if anyone needs that message, if anyone needs to kind of be corralled moving through the rest of the year, I think now is a good time for this to live on in people's hearts, and doing so virtually, it's so accessible, which I'm always a fan of. So
yeah,
that's good. AJ?
Oh gosh, for me, I love the workshopping process. My dream right now is just like to have like the full 100 random pages of whatever Dainty is, and then working with an amazing group of Black, femme, and non-binary women to like come together and just like really piece it and work it out and tear it apart and make it what it can really be, because that's really where the fun is. As compared to like actually getting it up on its feet, you know, being in Baltimore, DC, it's become like home. So the places I think of first are Two Strikes Theater, which is a Black women-led the theater collective here that I've fallen in love with, as well as Woolly Mammoth Theater in DC. I always love their work, and I've gotten to work with them a few times, so it's always been a great place. So just getting to, and then also getting to employ some of the people that I've gotten to work with in this area would be super, super cool. And just saying, hey, look at all the amazing things that we can do, that we know we can do, and getting to show it is really, really awesome.
I love that. So we're coming after you, theaters, to make sure that these pieces have a home. I am so thankful for you, Agyeiwaa, for you, Kristolyn, for you, Brittani. Thank you for using your voices, for giving us your time and your energy and your hearts.
For the platform.
Thank you for this. Thank you again for tuning in. Over 40 Black women made tonight's viewing possible.
That is bold. That is restorative. That is why Bold exists, to build up Black women in the performing arts for the restoration of culture.
If you've been moved by tonight's work, make a bold move and donate by clicking the link in the description box. And don't forget to come back next Friday to see 2 more new works written and directed by Black women.
Same place, same time. And for more information, follow us on all social platforms at I Am a Bold Woman and on our website, boldnyc.org.
We can't wait to share with you all the bold things we're up to. Bye.